And welcome to another show of Don't Get This Twisted. I am Rob, along with my co-host as always, Tina. How you doing, Tina?
I am doing all right. Like it's been a couple of crazy weeks, but getting through it. And
Yes.
we did our I was going to talk about the podcast that we did for that's going to be coming out on the 25th that I did
You mean this one that just came out?
Okay. I'm all confused on the days because we're recording earlier.
Because we're ahead.
Yes.
So this one is after that one.
Yes. So anyway, I normally don't listen to the podcast, which is, we all know. Anyway, but I've listened to that podcast like 3 times. And it was interesting because my ex and I don't talk about our divorce or things. Like when he talked about dating, I thought that was hilarious when he said that he shouldn't say he's still friends with his ex and we get along fine. I was dying because, I mean, how did he not know that? Like I thought that was funny. And I told him about it. He just laughed. He's like, yeah, well, whatever. And
Right.
it was really cool to hear his perspective on things. And I think when for me personally, getting a divorce, I felt like I failed at everything. Like there wasn't one thing that I did right? But in talking to him, I did a lot of things right. And we didn't have the most horrible relationship. And it was very therapeutic to do that. So I don't know. I just wanted to say that out loud and let you know, because we didn't talk yet. So, but man, was that ballsy.
Yeah, I thought, all in all, from my point of view, it was odd because, I mean, obviously Odd Men Out is a very, interesting place to be when you're trying to drive a show to go a certain direction. So, but I thought I thought I landed the fall pretty good and look, I
Landed the fall.
yeah, I mean, like, cuz here's the thing, like at the end of the day, I was kind of, look, I've known you forever. So I
Yeah.
was, and it's odd to be in a situation where people who had a long relationship and aren't together and had feelings and have feelings and lots going on. So for me, it was definitely a learning experience. I mean, look, it's it was good. I had a good time, and I think that just in general, it's a solid show. Hopefully everyone shares it.
I was thinking to myself about how is Rob in the middle of this? Like, how is he? Because you were watching us. Because there were definitely times when we had tears in our eyes, and there was times when we were supportive of each other, and there was times when maybe, I don't know, maybe we didn't agree completely, but we still like went forward and yeah, you were like a bug on a wall. It was kind of I was sitting there going, fuck, Rob, like, sorry we're putting you through this, but I don't know. I think it was therapeutic. We went out to lunch afterwards for people that don't know. And we did that for our podcast lunch. And he came, my ex came with us. And so we got to talk a little bit, and he rode in the same car as me. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, we kind of have a different relationship. But, I got to say that to me, it's so much better than trying to hate somebody, because I'm really finding I'm not good at that. Like hating somebody to the point where I can't deal with them or talk to them. I've done it, but it's not something I like to do.
No.
So I'm so grateful that we didn't have to go that route. Like completely internally grateful.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say.
Great show, and definitely leave feedback. I thought it was very good as well.
Thank you.
So this week you texted me, was like, hey, I have an idea for a show.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like, there's always a, there's always a place you can put those ideas, you know? Um,
There
for
is a
those who
place,
don't
but
know,
I'd rather talk to you about them.
for those that don't know, we have this running list on our Apple Notes, and every blue moon you will add something to it, and then generally I do. So, but this is how we keep track of certain things, because now we're trying to be better about it and get ahead and doing things. So, this is how I wrote it down, and then you can kind of push it forward.
Okay.
For a title, I put "How Men Handle Women Crying,"
Yeah.
which is kind of how you said. And then I had a bunch of ideas in my own head of what you meant. So much that before we got on here today, I went to my son and asked him what he thought.
Oh.
And he said the same thing. He goes, well, it all matters. And I was like, yeah, yes, you're correct. I said, what do you think? And he goes, I don't know. He goes, I don't handle women crying good at all. I was like,
Right.
oh, okay. So I threw things at him and I said, listen, I'm going to give you the man logic
But
before we start this.
do you take women's crying okay?
Well, this is kind of how I have to put it.
Okay.
Yes and no. Because here's the thing, it all matters why. If it's about our relationship, then I will tell you I would handle it with kid gloves.
Yeah.
If it's about someone else's relationship, them, the woman crying and someone else, I handle it differently. I'm supportive, obviously, but I am, I'm probably a little more standoffish unless I know them very well, and then they can cry on my shoulder.
Yeah.
But then there's like, okay, what if it's death? Death's a whole other kind of crying where there's nothing you can say. You just have to be there.
Yeah.
So I would say I handle crying from women differently for each occasion that it's happening. But if you're talking inside one of my own relationships, I think it's very hard for anyone, right? Because if you're already at the crying stage, you then, as a man, I think, and it all matters too. Are you crying? Is a man crying too? Because then that's a relationship that's on the verge of total destruction. Then I think that you throw the rules out because you're both going through an emotional breakdown. If I'm in the relationship and she's crying, I'm going to dig deeper into why. Why is this happening? Why are you crying? What is making you cry? So I can try to make the situation better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of that might never be better because some people cry to just get it out because it's the one way to exert anger or sadness or, whatever your emotion is at the time. Some people don't want you to react to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they just like, let me cry because I need to get a good cry out real quick. And then we can argue about what is wrong.
Right.
So there's a lot to unpack. I think most men don't handle women crying well.
No, they do not. I mean, so here's what came up.
Uh-huh.
When I get super frustrated, I don't even know if it's sad because when I'm sad, I shut down. But when I'm super frustrated, I will cry. It'll get the best of me. And I happened to do that in front of a friend who I was telling like how I was feeling. And he done flipped out. He's like, I told you, I don't like when women cry. You got to get a grip on this. What the hell's your problem? Like he just made the frustration that I was going through a lot worse. So it got to the point where I couldn't even tell him what was wrong. I didn't want to talk to him about it. I didn't feel like comfortable enough to like be vulnerable. And so what I did was I clammed up and I'm like, okay, let's just go. And that just totally pissed him off. And I was thinking, wow, like, why is it that first of all, that you're so I don't even know what to call that, like so reactive that I'm crying. Like I wasn't trying to manipulate him. I wasn't trying to hurt him, throw stones. Like I was trying to explain what I was going through and couldn't.
Right.
And then I thought, about, I remember when I was married and there was so much going on that one year that was just a really heavy year. And it got to the point where my ex had to go outside and he didn't come in for like hours because he didn't want to hear me cry. He didn't know how to fix it. He didn't know what to say. He didn't know what to do. He's always been a little, he's not the warm, fuzzy type right away. You have to work on that with him to get him to do that.
Right.
And
Right.
when I cried, he couldn't do that. He couldn't be that. I guess I taught him to be later on, but he wasn't really that good at it. Like he
Right.
struggled. And
some of us aren't.
right, for sure. And so then I had an ex-boyfriend that he said that when I cried, like he could feel the wave of emotion, like it was so heavy. He said, it makes me so sad when I see you cry. It's like, he goes, I can't look at you because the big crocodile tears, he goes, it breaks my heart every time you do that. And all he wants to do is like, tell me funny things to stop me from crying.
Right.
And I'm like, quit being fucking insensitive, because I'm like, I don't cry a lot. Like it takes a lot for me I really got to feel something to cry. And, but when I do, it's like, I need support at that point, I guess.
Right.
And, not getting it doesn't help me at all. And being chastised for being vulnerable doesn't help me at all either.
Right. That's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, don't
if you try to
make me
stop
feel
somebody,
stupid for having feelings, right?
right, exactly. You can't do that. And I think that, without throwing this the other direction, I think women do that a lot with men.
Do what?
Make them feel bad for being vulnerable.
Women make men feel bad for being vulnerable.
Yeah. So like if a man gets a little teary eyed or choked up or whatever, that can come back to bite them. Because, as much as that people say they want a vulnerable man, then once they see it, they're like, oh, he's weak.
Huh. No, that's not me.
Oh, that's good.
I think, well, you know me, like I'm the one that wants to talk about everything. If you're having a hard time, like, please tell me what's going on.
I'm saying inside a relationship though.
No, there was just a couple of times that I saw my ex cry, it broke my heart. And I let him cry. I'm like, he had to listen to me for, I don't know, 20 times for the 1-2 that he did, so no, I'm like, wow, for me, because of having the dad that I did, when I saw him cry, there was some major emotion going on. I didn't see him as weak. I was like, finally, he let the plug out, because you could feel the tension build. You could feel the rush of emotions, and there's got to be a place for you to let those out.
Absolutely.
And I think men go through it probably more than women because they have to be stone cold supportive, like never waver, super strong. Like I don't agree with that, but so watching men go through that, I don't know how they deal with it.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's why men hide so much.
Yeah.
Um, I think the bigger thing with men, men don't know how to handle it because we're afraid what to say during a crying thing. So like if it's a cry out of anger where like you're upset but you're fighting and you're crying, you
Yeah.
start to see things where you're like, okay, how do I, because you don't want to say anything that's going to make the crying worse,
Yeah.
but you also don't want to not be truthful in the matter. Right. So I think with most things, it's a, it's a, it's almost a chess game where you have to like give a little to take a little to give a little to take a little. No man wants to see a woman cry.
Yeah.
That's just, I think that's our inherent DNA of the fixer, right? We see someone cry, and the first thing we need to do is, how do I make her stop?
Yeah.
Okay. So is it about me? Okay. What did I do? How do I do? What do I, how can I fix this? Can we go on? Because when we see our loved one, mostly if it's a mate, crying, we want to make sure that if we did it, what is the glue that can fix it?
Right.
Because, assuming you want to keep that relationship, right? You want to go, okay, if it's me, what did I do? And how can I fix this? And if it's me and I feel like I am not at fault, how do I word this in the best way of like, look, this is how I feel and I want this to be better at the end.
Yeah.
It's hard. There's a lot of things that can go on. You end up getting angry if in those situations. If you're a guy who doesn't like girls crying, there is no answer for it. If you always see them as like, oh, you're just being emotional, you're never going to be okay. And really, you're fucked forever because it's going to happen, right? At some point. And like I said, let's say it's something other than your relationship. Your relationship's decent and it's normal and things happen. What happens when I'll give you a couple of things. Let's say it's just a Saturday night and you're sitting on the couch watching a movie that triggers your girlfriend and now she starts crying. You're not going to rail her for it, right? What are you crying for? Don't be a pussy. Like, it's just a love story, or it's just this, or it's just that. You can't do that. And I'll tell you, I watched a movie with my friend down the street, and I would have to find the title of it. But it was gnarly. It had a lot of overtones of abuse and being hit and things, okay? Where I could see her, you know, welling up and seeing herself in this character. It was called It Ends With Us. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Okay. So, and here I am, and we're watching it, and I'm getting teary eyed because I'm pissed, right? I'm mad at this character the guy in it because he's got something, he's got a good woman and he's ruining it because he's just a piece of shit. And then she's seeing it from the point of view of this has happened to me. So I'll tell you at the end, when the credits rolled, you could hear a fucking mouse fart in church. It was so quiet between us. And we both just kind of sat there for a few minutes and looked at each other and, wiped a few tears off. And then anytime my friend would get any kind of emotion, she's the kind of person that makes a joke no matter what to kind of,
I like that.
to kind of clear the air. Yes, I like that in a lot of cases. In some cases, I don't. Like, it's okay to be an emotional wreck. You don't always have to try to make light of it. Because if that's all you do is make light of it, you're not dealing with the real emotion.
Absolutely.
Like, it's okay. Like, some piece of shit fucked you up. Don't do it again. Right? Don't
let it happen. Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Don't let it happen. If you see it in somebody else, get rid of them, whatever it is. Like, don't do it again. Don't let it happen. So, but that was one of the things that were like, and it was quiet afterwards. And then we both kind of got up and then we talked about that movie and situations and other people in those kind of situations and a bunch of other stuff. So we handled it. I looked at it from a different point of view because I could see what was going on in her head through watching a movie. So it was much easier for me to handle, right? Because I knew some of the things that had happened to her anyway.
Yeah.
So that made it, but neither of us had seen this movie, so we didn't know what was coming. So that kind of made it a bit like, oh shit. But at the end, it was like good. Like I thought I handled that good because I was a spectator in that. I wasn't dating her. I didn't do it to her. So it was a much easier thing. So that's one situation where crying and how you handle it. Where I'll give you an example for death. My ex-wife's father died while we were married. And to see that, and then her mom passed away not too long after we were divorced. And to see how that was handled. And because I at the time her mom was in the hospital, I went and dropped off my son to see grandma before she passed away. Well, she died while he was there. I had to run out and I hung out there. That was my mother-in-law for,
long time.
Well, 6 years of marriage and 4 years of being together before that. So that was my mother-in-law. But to be around that both times to see how she was, dealing with death is a whole other thing. So for me, I just leaned into it. Like, I'm here for you. What do you need?
Mm-hmm.
How can we fix, things around the house? You have to grieve where, those are situations that it's only I'm here for you. It's, what can I do for you in those situations? So that's how I handle that. And then as a man, I think try to be strong more than emotional.
I'm finding that men these days are really insensitive to emotion at all. And if you show any emotion, like they don't want to deal with it, they don't deal with it, they don't know what to do. And I'm thinking, like, where are these people growing up? Because I grew up in a family where when somebody cries, they get like grabbed, they get held, they get hugged, and then it's like, what's the problem? Like, whatever it is, I think the first step is dealing with the emotion. But what I'm noticing is that like men men that are just my friends even like can't deal with whatever it is that I'm feeling. First of all, I say don't ask me what I'm going through if you don't want a real answer, because that could come with a lot of emotions itself. So
Absolutely.
don't fucking ask if you
Right.
can't be supportive, because I guarantee you, if, like, for instance, we'll just use you. You had something that you had to tell me and it was choking you up. What would you think I would do to you or say to you? I would hug you and say, you're going to be okay. I got you.
Right.
And as a man, if you can't do that, like what kind of fucked up situation are you slinging at people? Like, I
Right.
get it.
Exactly.
I get it that women will manipulate men in a lot of situations. I get that.
Mhm.
But man, you can't come at emotion like it's it's disgusting and it's wicked and you're not going to put up with it. Like, why would you have a female friend if you couldn't deal with the fact that she's going to be emotional? Like,
Right.
why is this world getting to the point where, first of all, you can't be emotional and you can't say how you're feeling? What is wrong with that? It blows my mind that people are like that. But just some human kindness
Right.
is all that women need. I mean, I get it. Guys are like fixers. I get that. I used to tell my ex all the time,
Mhm.
I am having a fucked up day. I am feeling some sort of way, but I don't need you to fix me. But if you could support me, it's because it's not about you. And
Right.
he used to tell me, he goes, thank you for saying that because it takes the stress off. And I understand that. It does take the stress off if you tell somebody, I'm going through something, but this isn't about you. Cool.
Mhm.
Take the stress off. I'm good with that. But even after being told that, why be defensive to the point where, like, I just can't stand it? It pisses me off when women cry. I'm like, "Oh, you need to walk away from me then, because I don't have anything I want to say to you because I'm feeling emotional and I don't want to hear your shit." Like, I'm not weak. You're not weak when you're hurting. You're struggling when you're hurting. You're going through stuff, but I'm not a weak person and I handle all my own shit like a big girl. But I wish that at some point he could have like had a little bit of grace for me. And I get it. He's just not that guy. And thankfully, he's just my friend, because if he was more and I had to deal with that, like that would be hell. You're going to say
Yeah, I
something.
mean, empathy, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You have to at least have a little,
Yes.
okay? I think the other thing is, again, I'm going to say things I'm sure that ruffle feathers of the women who listen to this show. But men think logically and women think with emotion.
Yes.
So, that being said, if you're a man, your logical question generally is, how can I help you? Now, I, I think, and again, it all matters what situation we're talking again, right? There's several situations where, you know, how can I help you? Or, help me understand if it's in a relationship, or how can I help you if it's this or this kind of thing.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's both parties that have to work together. So if a man asks a question like, "Hey, what's wrong?" Dump on him. He, m- if you're asking that, you better be ready. If
Yeah.
you're
For
saying,
sure.
"I don't want you to cry in front of me, and I told you this, and don't do it because I hate women crying in front of me," I think that there's already a wound that's open, and you, a crying woman is like salt in the wound. So there's
Seriously,
probably,
that's what it was like.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say somewhere in that man's life, someone very important to him cried and he didn't read it the right way and they left.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
And he associates that with someone leaving. Deep down inside, and just for everybody, I am not a doctor and I don't do therapy. I'm just telling you how I would take that. That's deep rooted shit, right? Because I think most people using our bell curve at least go, hey, even if you don't like to see women crying, you understand that I need to find a solution to help them out. Because that's, even if you only have a little empathy, because I know people who have not fucking much.
That's for sure.
Right. And dead serious, where they just don't have much empathy. I don't have a lot of empathy towards certain things. And people go, really? And I go, oh no, I just fucking don't care. But on the flip side of that, if I do care, I have a shit ton and it gets me in a lot of trouble as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
But as a man, I think that you have to handle things with empathy and grace. I think that is a great word that you're using. You don't have to be a dick if you don't like it.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
I think you have to be able to communicate. The thing is, I'm not good with women crying.
Right.
How can I help you still? I think those words alone is like, because I'm telling you, I'm really not good at this, but I still want to help you.
Yeah.
Because right there, I've showed my empathy. I show that I care, that I do. I'm just not good at this because of whatever's happened in my past, or I'm not good with emotion because now I'm going to start crying and you're going to think I'm fucking a baby. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just think it's because a man doesn't want to show he's vulnerable and cry either, because that's just how we are. Right.
Yes.
So I think there's a lot to be said to that of like, hey, I cry at movies. So like, I've cried in front of some people recently and I'm sure they were like, whoa, because it was an emotional movie and I liked it and I got teary eyed.
And I don't do that.
Yeah. But I also cry at like, Braveheart and like, Karate Kid. I also cry for like the Yes, We Did It. Like I watched Miracle, which is about the 80s hockey team winning the gold. And it was great. I fucking was like, yeah. So, I do have that in me. So I think maybe that's probably why I do handle it a little better.
Yeah.
It's like if you open your emotions without letting someone use them against you, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
If either party uses emotions against somebody, you will ruin that person. This is why men don't open up to their girlfriends or wives, because when they do, it comes back on them. And I'll tell you from a man point of view, you'll never, ever hear another thing from your man about emotion ever again if you do it to him. Where I think it could be the same for a woman. If you come to me and say like, I'm hurting and this, and I use that shit against you, you will bottle that shit up forever until it blows up.
But why would you, if you care about the person that you're around, why would you want to throw it at them like that? That to me, like, where is your compassion? Where's your empathy? Where's your, like, show up as a friend and support, like, cause that's how I show up. And if I show up like that, chances are I'm going to expect the person that I'm friends with to do the same thing, or the guy I'm with to do the same thing, or my family member to do the same thing. For me, anybody that knows me, that's known me for a while, knows how I am. I don't hide who I am at all. So if I come up to you and I say I'm struggling with something and I'm crying, like, oh shit, Tina's crying. Like, Tina doesn't come out like this very often, So,
yeah,
whoa,
exactly.
wouldn't you want to support somebody that's having a rough time. I mean, I remember when my mom died and my brother and I went up to see her in the casket and we started laughing. Like, I'm not one of those people that cries to be a little baby or cries to get empathy. Like, when I'm crying, it's a struggle.
Right.
And I'm finding lately that men in general, I don't know who the hell has been manipulating them or what the fuck has been going on, but the compassion that they lack it's sad. I don't know. I'm having a hard time with that because I've never seen reactions like I saw.
Right. I think you are correct though about it's someone has been manipulated for feelings. And look, and I don't want to shit on anyone, but women have tried to manipulate men without having any justification for crying. Right? Not, so they'll use that to get something or get their way or get whatever. So if somewhere in their life a man has been manipulated by crying, maybe that is a shut-off switch rather than an empathy switch. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe the person we're talking about has been manipulated by somebody, used crying against them, got something from it, whatever that is, because it doesn't matter. And now every time they see someone crying, they're like, fuck, I'm going to get manipulated again. I'm going to end up fucking having to move this girl out of her apartment. I don't want to move her because we're barely friends.
Right.
You know what I mean? But she's going to give crocodile tears and say, no one's going to help me. And you need, and of course, if you have any kind of, empathy and backbone, you're going to be like, fuck yeah, I want to help you. Like, I don't want you to cry anymore. So it's a double-edged sword for sure.
Yeah.
But that other side of the sword is very small. I don't think that most women are manipulating men by crying. But maybe I'm gullible. So like that could also be something. I like to see on the front end that if that's happening, that is a true emotional response. And my duty as a man is to see it and fix it or see it and be there for whatever they need.
So for me, going through the situation where like I felt in a way that I was attacked because I couldn't get the words out to explain exactly what I was feeling. And I'm very literal. So I need to be able to say exactly what I'm feeling to communicate what it is that's going on. I was struggling. And then the stress of how I was being treated didn't help. It flustered me. The frustration just got even more intense and I couldn't stop crying and it ended up in a fuck you. And I walked away and I don't want to talk to that person anymore. Not that I don't want to be friends with them, but right now I'm feeling like I don't have anything I want to say because I don't feel like, first of all, that I'll be heard because I feel like I'm going to be, condemned to hell for having emotions. I don't want to say anything.
Right.
And I'm not normally like that. I'm normally the one's like, no, fucker, we're going to talk about this. But I just don't have the strength for the lack of decency that I should have been shown. And then the frustrating thing was after that, then the arguments started and the texting started. And I was just like, fuck, I don't like this at all.
Right. I don't want any of this.
I don't like any of this. Like, I'm good. And it's kind of built a wall that I'm going to have to now deal with too, because, I don't feel like I was heard. I don't feel like I was understood. And I definitely felt like I was chastised for having any emotion. I won't make that mistake again. Like you said, like guys do that too. They won't want to do it. Well, so will women. Like,
oh, absolutely. That's 100%.
But the funny thing is like, if somebody came to me and they were in that situation, even if I got treated the way I did, I would still show up for them. Like I would still, because I know what it's like to be in a situation where you cry and something really hurts and you don't have support. I've been in that situation a lot. So I don't want to do that to anybody else, but man, it was shitty. But then I know another person. He says he wishes he could cry. Like he looks at me like I'm stupid when he's seen me cry because, he'll get teared up. Or I got bad news around him once, and I had tears in my eyes, and he's like, what's going on? He goes, I wish I could cry. I can't cry. Like and he I've had so many conversations with him where it's been really, really a struggle for him to even communicate. He won't drop one freaking tear out of his eyes. It's like, that's why I was like, what is it with men and crying? Like, if women have really fucked over men to the point where they can't cry, shame on them. But like on the other side, I'm like, if you think that being tough is never being vulnerable, you got another thing coming, because being vulnerable is way harder than being stoic and not letting anybody in.
I agree. I just think that when you leave yourself open, you leave yourself open to also criticism. And a lot of men don't want that. So if you don't open up, then you don't have to worry.
Yeah. I have one friend that when he has seen me crying, he grabs me, he hugs me. He's like, all right, I'm going to hug you until you're done. And then you got to tell me what's going on and get it out. So like, and for me, it's like, oh my gosh, yes, just let me cry. I'll tell you whatever the hell it is afterwards. But there's such a buildup there's such a buildup of emotion and just the energies get so large that I need to get that out sometimes. And I'm not a big crybaby, but shit, life is hard,
Absolutely.
And I liked when he just grabbed me and said, okay, I'm going to hug you, get it all out, and then fix your makeup, wipe off my shirt, and then talk to me and tell me what's going on. I liked that style. So it wasn't him. He wasn't trying to fix me because I didn't need that. I just needed to cry. And then afterwards I told him what it was. And then we ended up laughing like I normally do when something gets really stressful, because Lord knows I don't want to spend that time being that sad. It's hard to be that sad and to have that ache in you, But I'm noticing, like, since, gosh, it's been years, I've been noticing like men and crying is really it's kind of a difficult thing to watch them have to deal with it. But in my family, it wasn't. Like my brother and my dad, when I cry, they sit there and they say nothing. They may not even look at me, but they'll just sit there like, do what you got to do, get it all out, whatever you need. I'm just here. I'm cool with that too. Because, at least I'm being supported. Like,
correct. That's what that is.
I don't think anybody wants to see anybody cry. And from what my friend said about, he goes, you make me want to run in place. Like how do I fix things? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Cause I just want you to stop crying. He, he goes into a state of panic. But he doesn't walk away. He doesn't chastise me. And I tell him, I said, you really got to work on your reaction with me, because I've got some really hard things that I'm just dealing with, and I'm going to cry. And I feel confident enough in our relationship that if I do it with you, it's going to be okay, because you got me and I got you. But just don't, if you're going to run in place, like you don't need to go anywhere. It's not about you. And if I am crying because of something you did, well, shit, sit and listen and then just say you're sorry. Like it doesn't have to be this huge situation because somebody dropped a few tears on a napkin,
Correct. Yeah. Look, at the end of your situation is, some men aren't built to take it for whatever reason. And some are absolutely the perfect people to do it. Then there's that big gray area in the middle where they just all kind of mishmash together in and out. And thankfully that's humankind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um I think you should draw into it where it's about empathy, all of it.
Yeah.
And being able to understand that people are going to cry. It if they're your friends and they're going through whatever uh mess they're in, whether they're going through a breakup or a divorce or, something with their significant other, the only thing that you can really do is say things are going to be okay, and and I guess give some advice, because you know I think that during emotional times trying to give advice to somebody is not the greatest idea,
Mm-hmm.
because you as the person giving the advice also may have some deep rooted feeling that you're going to say out loud that could ruin someone else's life. I think your best thing is to say, I'm here for you, and be a shoulder and listen.
Yeah.
I think that is the best thing you can do as any kind of friend in any situation, is just be there and listen.
You don't know how many people over the course of my life have come to me and thrown their arms around me and just sobbed, and I didn't even see it coming. Like,
Right.
I've gone through that a lot. And I think that I've gone through that because people know that feel they
Safe.
could feel vulnerable around me, and they are safe.
Yeah.
And I think we need more people that we could just feel safe with,
Uh,
because
That's 100%.
I got to tell you, not having somebody where I felt safe and feeling what I was feeling was really tough to handle.
Yeah. It's hard to be around people that you don't feel that you can be who you are around them. A matter of fact, it sucks, because then we bottle up, and then you don't feel like telling someone anything.
Oh, and that's
So
where I'm at right now. I'm like, I don't even want to see you. I don't. And this
yeah,
is somebody I like hanging out with. I'm like, wow, you killed my, you killed my vibe.
yeah. Well, and it sucks when that happens between people that have a relationship, or you've been hanging out a lot, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
you're gonna pump the brakes and go from, you know, riding in the fast lane to not talking at all.
Yeah.
And I love to be a person that can tell you that I can do that, and I have. Um, but no one is good at that, regardless of what you say. You might be able to do it, but it always lingers. So, you know, don't be that person. Do your best to be there for the people who need you during these trying times. And like I said, whatever it is, death, relationships, divorce, you have to be there for people. Just do it with some empathy and grace. And I think that we'll all be better off if we do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But we're just a different breed. It's unfortunate that, look, there's good and bad with masculinity. The good part is that when you need to punch someone in the face, they're there for you. But when you're crying, we bottle up, because we're told from children that boys don't cry.
Yeah,
And
that's true too.
again, for the people out there that are saying that's bad, and you should tell them to cry. No, you shouldn't. They'll learn to cry on their own.
Yeah.
Men should be stoic and be that brick wall for whoever needs them. You know, women are the empathetic ones. I want to make sure that if I come to my woman with whatever news, that she's going to be there with an open arm to say it's going to be okay, but in a feminine way.
Right. For sure.
So, a man should be able to be there for his friend or girlfriend or whatever in a stoic way and still say it's going to be okay.
Yeah, that's not what happened.
No,
It ended up in an argument, and I was like, okay.
Well, what you said is, like I told you, I think that guy just has a trigger that something somewhere happened, and you just happened to kind of be the bearer of bad during that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
It was a trip, but like I said, it was I know several men, and they're, I don't know. I told one he was emotionally clogged because he couldn't shed one tear, and he had the weight of the world on his shoulders.
True.
And I was like, "You are constipated." And he was like,
yeah.
"Wow."
But here's the thing, he probably feels safe not having to deal with people.
Yeah.
That's it. He's just like, well, that's cool. I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to worry about her or them or nothing. I just do my shit and then leave me alone. Now, the only bad part with people like that is when it comes back full circle, he doesn't have many people to go to because no one's going to reciprocate.
Oh no. And it's a very small life, because if you're constantly pushing people out of it, they're going to walk.
For sure. And look, you just have to understand that people have issues. All of us. And if they're pushing you away, it's probably for a reason. And sometimes it's not for you to understand. You just have to go, okay. And stay in arm's distance back so no one gets hurt. And, at the end, if it's meant to come back around full circle, it will.
Yeah. No, I'm just me, the famous last words, I'm just going to see what happens next.
That's it. And you kind of have to. Can you nudge it along to get better? Sure. And it all matters too, like how it happens or what happens. Like, there's people in my life that I can't be in their life anymore because they're with somebody else. And it's better to just not be in that. Doesn't mean I don't care. I absurdly care about them. That's just the way it is. And or our another relationship I had ended on a bad note. I really don't talk to them anymore, but I text them on Christmas and their birthday because I do care about them. I just want to make sure that they don't feel like I'm intruding in whatever their new life is.
Yeah.
That's it. It's, and if that person came to me, if those people, all of them, these certain people I'm talking about, came to me tomorrow and knocked on the door and said, I really need to talk to you about something, I'd go, okay, cool. Get on the couch. Let's hear it all.
Yeah.
Now, would I be a little guarded this time around? Yes. But I would still be there for the people in my life because I have empathy for them. I do care about certain people. So you can cry in front of me because, well, you did the other day.
Oh.
So
yeah.
It's, I just handle things different because I try to break down the situation the best I can in a very short amount of time of hearing what's wrong. But I would never push someone away and go, don't cry in front of me. I might get in the car on the way home and go, fuck, I hope that doesn't happen again. But I wouldn't do it in front of them. And here's the crazy thing. Even though if I said that on the way home in my car, the next time they came around, I'd be like, all right, let's do this. Because that's what friends and lovers and mates and, family, That's what we're all here for. If we're not here for that, you're doing life wrong. Just you
Yeah.
are. So I don't know. Any last words here for our soon to be hour shows?
I know I looked up and it was like 48 minutes. I went, what the hell?
Yeah,
Um,
we're gonna. I've decided that we're just gonna let these things roll, and if it's fucking an hour and 50 minutes, it's what it is. So
well, I don't want to do that because I have a life. I got shit to do.
no, you know what I mean though. Like if we're just rolling and it goes 15 minutes or 20 minutes over, it goes the way it is, and you'll cut me off. You'll give me the let's get out of here.
Yeah. I just think that if you're a man and a woman is crying around you, it should be okay. And it is okay if you're anywhere around me to just give me a hug and tell me everything's going to be okay. I got the rest. I don't need, I'm a strong person, but even I have, my bad days, and just a little support is basically all anybody needs. And you don't have to give any more than that, even just, but be supportive, because men need to be that to women, just like women need to be soft to men. And we need more of that these days, because it's not the same world we grew up in.
Absolutely.
So that's what I would say.
I'm gonna leave it at that because I think that fits the bill for this week. It's
right on.
We've said a lot, and I think that if you come out of this pod today, just on both sides, for every person be a little more empathetic,
please.
And hey, check us out on the social medias, because I've been posting a shit ton. And you guys have been listening like a lot. So we appreciate that. We did finally hit over 10,000 downloads. I don't know if I said that on last week's episode, because I knew it was going to be a tad more of an emotional show. So I don't know if I did or not. But yes, so we've hit a goal. We have many more that we're that are coming. But please share the show. If you click listen, share, subscribe if you listen on Spotify and Apple. I don't know what the actual word is, but I want to say it's subscribe. If you press that, it'll just automatically download onto your phone or device. And it's an opinion show. Don't get it twisted. Keep coming back every Wednesday. I'm Rob. That's Tina. We'll see you in a week. Bye.
See ya.
Don't get this twisted.